Hey now. Hey now. Welcome to an all new Uneeda Horror Podcast.
All new.
All new. That's right. All new.
Halloween too.
Now I can't help but think about that every time. Before we just dive into the show tonight, I am really thrilled, excited, and happy to have one of my bandmates, one of my dear friends, Tommy McDaniel, making his way back onto the CHH channel in a while. Tommy,
Hey,
you're
how's it
live.
going, man? Yes, finally back.
Do you
Only
want to
had
tell
to.
people? You don't have to get too personal, but do you just want to tell people in a nutshell what happened?
Um, I don't know how it happened. I ended up with a herniated disc that basically I woke up Christmas Eve and I was unable to walk. I went to the hospital. I had back surgery. Spent a month in the hospital in New Orleans doing rehab, and wasn't able to walk at all for about 3 months. Now I'm back to where I can walk some. I'm getting there. Hopefully, I'll make a full recovery. But it's been one of those years, So that's what I've been
Yeah,
dealing with for the past year and stuff.
I know I'm so proud and happy to see you getting back, back into the swing of things. We were all pulling for you, man. It was scary shit,
Appreciate it. Yeah,
you
yeah. I
know.
mean, just wake up and not be able to move your legs. And everybody's like, what happened to you? And, they expect this story of some kind of accident, but it was nothing like that. I mean, I'd been having issues with my legs where my leg
Right.
was weak, times when I'd even come over there to do, podcast or do episodes of Christian and horror. And yeah, just one of those things. Ended up in this,
Yeah.
having surgery Christmas Day. So, but
Well,
yeah, here I am.
what do you say? What do you say we get back to normal life, Tommy, and talk
Yeah,
about
that
some horror
sounds
films?
great to me.
Sounds good. Well, good deal,
Yeah.
Tommy. We're glad to have you. This is a great episode for you to jump back in with us. And of course, my co-host Nick. Nick, you're in a different room every time we do this show.
Not always, but usually if it's Thursday night, I'm in my bedroom because I don't want to just inconvenience my brother in my house to use my guest room. But
It looks like you just came out the closet based on what's behind you.
yeah, well, no pun intended. No,
Yeah.
that's my bedroom closet. It's a mess in there. But yeah, this is my wife's, but this is closed because hers is actually organized, but mine's not. So yeah, no, I'm chilling in here, man. I'm excited. I'm ready to go.
All right, now before we get going, Tommy, what state do
Yes.
you live in?
Louisiana.
Are you loud and proud, Louisiana?
Absolutely.
Oh
And
god,
I
what
mean,
hat is he wearing, Nick? I just wonder, just Nick. I'm just wondering, what hat is he wearing?
that's a New Orleans Saints hat.
Okay, so 2 and 2 is 4, right?
Yeah,
Okay, let me ask you something. What state are you from?
I am in Ohio.
What football team you love?
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
What went wrong?
Well, that's funny. I get this question a lot. Basically, long story short, my mom met a dude when I was 7, and he was from Pittsburgh.
This is how this story is started.
Yeah, and he was from Pittsburgh, and he just ever since I was a little kid, I didn't even care about sports when I was like 7 years old, and he raised us to be Steelers fans. They got married, and that was just kind of the way of life in our house. So even when they eventually split up years down the road, I just stayed a Steelers fan. And today I put my wife through the ringer, and anybody in my life through the ringer with a bunch of very passionate football talk. I mean, if I could pick up, I guess I could really quick because I'm using my phone. This is just for all of you. There's probably like,
Oh, I see Steelers jerseys everywhere.
yeah.
there's probably about 15 jerseys in there.
Jesus Christ.
I've also got like limited edition beer cans. I have a 1974 Super Bowl champions beer can, like from 74. Like I got a bunch of cool shit in there. So yeah, just the way of life, man. Last 20 years, I couldn't help it. It was forced on me. So
I could be an adult right now and we can move on, but I'm not
I hope the
going
Bengals
to.
get absolutely annihilated in the Super
No.
Bowl.
Well,
just
hold
saying.
on. We'll get to, I'm not there yet. We're gonna get to that.
Okay.
Like I was saying, I could be an adult and we can move on, but I'm not going to. Do you have any comment? on the allegations against Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Guys, this was 12 years ago.
I was going to say which
There was nothing
Pick one.
nothing materialized over it. People, I don't want to I get really passionate about this because he was my dude. Like, that was my quarterback from when I started watching the team. So I loved that guy. I actually went to Heinz Field for his last game in December. I was there at his last home game, and it was insane. I cried grown man tears. But so yeah, that's my guy. But no, I mean, nothing came out of it. That's what I'm saying. He never got in any trouble about it. There was some fishy shit if you actually look into it. I guess the woman had been like emailing her best friend and saying she was going to move to Pittsburgh and marry him and have his babies and become Mrs. Roethlisberger. So it seemed more like she was like obsessed with him, and he had just won a Super Bowl, so he was kind of on top of the world. Happens a lot in sports. We've seen it with, and there's no excuse if somebody actually does something that's fucked up, but when there's nothing there and it just seems kind of fishy. I don't know. I don't really hold it against. He's you know what, Christian, I don't want to keep going on this, but I love my guy. He's a dad of 3 now. He's married. He just retired like a week ago. Leave me the hell alone. Okay.
Okay. Now I know you're a real Pittsburgh fan because you didn't dodge the question. I'm very proud of you. So why?
Can I say though, as a Saints fan, we just had our running back beat somebody up and put him in the hospital over an elevator. So I mean,
yeah, that was crazy to see. Yeah. Kamara's a great player too. So I did not see that coming at all. And
he's always seemed like a great guy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, so what do you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'll never shy away from the question, Christian, but I have actually gotten into like very spirited, angry, shouting matches over it.
I bet you have.
Yeah, yeah, it means a lot. I got a Steelers tattoo on my shoulder. It was my first tattoo I ever got. So well, it runs deep.
I respect that. I really do. I'm a Chicago fan. I'm a Bears fan. I like the Blackhawks. If you ask me why, I can't give you an answer. Maybe you can understand this. You ever just identify with a city? A team, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like I'm a Bears guy. I'm a Cubs fan. I love the Blackhawks. That's just my thing. My wife loves hockey. She watches hockey religiously. So naturally, when she got me into it, I was like, well, we're gonna cheer for the Blackhawks, right? She goes, well, absolutely. She likes them, and she likes Tennessee, that team from Tennessee.
And Titans.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, no, the hockey team, the Tennessee Nashville Predators.
Nashville Predators.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Penguins fan because those kind of go hand in hand. The Steelers.
Hey, is that Sidney Crosby?
Yep.
With the Penguins, best hockey player in the world. He is such a villain. I love Sidney Crosby. My wife hates Sidney Crosby.
Sid's great.
I love Sidney Crosby. Okay, now last question before we get going, because I know Tommy's like, let's get this shit on. Like, why the hate for the Bengals? Why you gotta? Why? What's with the disrespect? What's with the disrespect?
I will keep this short and sweet for you. Yeah, they're a division rival, so I never want to see them succeed, but it's deeper than that. For years, the way their fans and some of those players have treated our players and our fan base has just been downright disgusting. And the cherry on top of it was in 2016, we played a playoff game in Cincinnati. Our quarterback, Ben, got hurt. He separated his shoulder in the fourth quarter, and the stadium was cheering when he was injured, and they had to get him on a cart to get off. And when they were carting him off along the sideline, fans were throwing full beer cans all down on him and trash on him. Why? Well, he never did anything except own their team for 20 years. So they just didn't like the guy because he always beat them. So they had to act like a bunch of classless douchebags. So from that point forward, I was like, I hope you guys never, ever see success, ever. They're there for our entertainment, man, to cheer for somebody to get hurt when they're putting their body on the line for your enjoyment and then try to cause them physical pain just because I don't know why. Like, that's beyond the pale. That stuff just pisses me off. Like, act like an adult. I mean, so there's just a lot of bad blood there. They injured a lot of our players intentionally. They used to have a guy named Vontaze Burfict. If you watch football, you knew who Vontaze Burfict was. He was a piece of shit. That was a headhunter that took out our 3-star players in 1 year. 1 year. he took out 3 of them. So yeah,
And
nope.
some people say like that's kind of what happened to Antonio Brown was that hit. It just messed with his head so much it totally changed his personality.
I know. Yeah, Christian, you're not a football fan. Just type in on YouTube one night Antonio Brown, Vontaze Burfict, and watch our receiver get knocked clean out, eyes roll back in his head, unconscious.
I mean, it is rough, man. It's insane.
Now, Tommy, being a Saints fan, you went through. You were an advocate and a supporter of the bounty, correct? So you can appreciate. So you can devil's advocate for Nick. You can appreciate a little bit of spirited, fanship, right? A couple beer bottles. You can appreciate that, right?
We won't talk about Bounty Gate.
It's in
Funny
the past,
thing
right?
about Bounty Gate is so many teams have done that. The Saints just got caught. That's
right.
It. Like
exactly.
People wanted to scapegoat them as like, look how dirty they're. No, everybody does it.
Exactly.
Everybody has done it. They just got caught. I mean, whatever. I mean, I think the Saints are. I've always liked the Saints. I loved Drew Brees as a person and as a quarterback. I thought Sean Payton was a hell of a coach. I've never found myself not rooting for the Saints. I actually wanted them to win the Super Bowl in Brees' last year.
Me too.
Which was I've always liked them. I like them and I like the Lions just because I like to root for the underdog, man. The Lions always suck, so I just like to see them do well. Like, come on, like be good for once.
Well,
so.
Nick, I know Tommy can attest to this. I speak from living it. After Jim Haslett and Aaron Brooks, you could have put a KFC line cook in charge of that football team, and I would have been a bigger fan of it. I mean, those guys were terrible. Haslett and Aaron Brooks is the worst quarterback in NFL history, besides the Cajun dummy. The Cajun dummy. Am I right, Tommy? I mean, he's one of the worst.
I mean, he's in a line of bad Saints quarterbacks, but
Saints have had some of the worst quarterbacks in NFL history.
With the help of Sean Payton and Drew Brees and everything, they pulled themselves out of that, quote unquote poverty franchise that people used to call them, and they became like a perennial playoff contender every year.
Without question.
Drew
Brees is the real deal.
For them.
Yeah, Drew Brees is the real deal. My dad gets mad at me all the time because I'm like, Dad, Drew Brees is great, but he ain't no Tom Brady. Bullshit, Bubba. Bullshit. I'm like, well, hey,
he
count
was.
The rings.
Nobody will ever be Tom Brady, unfortunately. But
yeah,
I hate the guy.
Respect to Brady. He retired. What a hell of a career, man. Hell of a career.
He decided to announce his retirement a week after Ben. That way, it couldn't all be about Ben. That way, in 5 years, when they're both eligible for the Hall of Fame, they'll both get in, but it'll be all about Brady because Brady.
Come on, Nick.
I don't give a shit. He could have played another year, Christian. He was at the top of his game this year. Brady did not decline. He could have played another year.
I agree, and he was 44 years old. Can you imagine that? A 44 Nick, Tommy, what the hell's going on? A 44-year-old quarterback.
Ben was 39 and he looked like a corpse. I mean, Brees in his last season didn't look good. Like usually when you hit 40, you're done, man. You're done. You cannot do it anymore. But Brady sold his soul or something. I don't know.
Well, you saw that show on Netflix where they never mind. I want to get into it. He was on a Netflix show where he kills himself and it's a copycat Tom Brady. Anyway.
You need a horror podcast.
Yeah, let's get the show on the road. This is why you can't wear football hats on this show, Tommy. You see what happened?
My bad.
All right, so Tommy, and for anybody listening, last week's show we took the franchise face-off, which was a popular series on the show, and we decided to bring it to the poster edition because, if you guys know, I'm a huge fan of the horror movie poster. I think it's one of the most incremental parts of horror fandom. And last week we did Halloween versus Friday the 13th. It was well received, and people, I mean, Nick, they wanted more. So guess what we're giving them?
Mo.
Something totally different.
So what we're doing this week, Tommy, is another franchise face-off between two juggernaut franchises, but this is the poster edition. So we're not ranking the film, which film was better. We've done that, but we're doing the posters, which is one of the things the fans want. So today we're doing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise versus the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise poster edition. And here's the beauty of it, Tommy.
Yeah.
Here's the beauty of it. What does it mean when there's three of us, Nick? It's a tiebreaker.
Yes, we can have a definitive winner, or we can all be in agreement, or all this is exciting. This is going to create some. It's going to create some spice. The people don't like hearing us talk anymore. So it's, nice to have a guest on here to kind of alleviate some of that. By the way, I listened to our podcast back the other day on Apple Podcasts. I'm like, do I really talk as much as it seems? I feel like I talk too much.
Well, when you're into the topic, Nick, you roll. But that's what I want. I don't want to talk the whole time. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I got you. I just, sometimes
I want to be like,
shut up.
I want to be like, mid 2000s Howard Stern. I just want to have the show and everybody else talk. Everybody else be crazy.
Does that make us the whack pack? If you're the Howard Stern.
Which whack pack member do you want to be, Tom? You want to be Beetlejuice? Or... Beetlejuice was the best whack packer.
Yeah.
All right. So, Tommy, on the screen now, you can see right now, we're going to do Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original versus 1984's A Nightmare on Elm Street. So right now we're going to look at the Texas Chainsaw poster, and you should be very familiar with this classic image. Right. A big white poster. Who will survive? And what will be left of them? The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We got a shot of Leatherface with his chainsaw and one of the victims from the movie On the Hook, one of the most infamous scenes in the film. A film that people back in the day, Tommy, thought that they saw a bloodbath, but what was the irony in that?
There was hardly any blood at all.
Exactly. So now that we've got a good look at this poster, sit on that for a second, and we're going to swap over to A Nightmare on Elm Street. Original theatrical poster. Oh, look at this, Tommy. The original poster for A Nightmare on Elm Street. If Nancy doesn't wake up screaming, she won't wake up at all. A classic image of what's supposed to be Nancy, a fairly decent resemblance of Heather. Classic A Nightmare on Elm Street logo, which has become synonymous with horror itself. The classic images of Freddy, his eyes, and the glove above her face. Tommy, you're the guest. You have got to pick first. Which poster is the better poster? If you need me to pull up the other one, let me know.
No, this one's pretty simple. As amazing as that Texas Chainsaw Massacre poster is, I mean, these Nightmare on Elm Street posters, this one, we'll start with this one. I mean, it's so unique. It's such a unique style. I mean, it's such a brave poster because you can't really tell a whole lot. I mean, of course you got, the claws but I don't know. It's just, this one does it for me. So Nightmare on Elm Street, definitely hands down.
Wow. Easy decision from Tommy.
Easy. Yeah.
Nick, with you, I'm not really sure where you're going to go. Can I keep you last for this?
Yeah, for sure.
Tommy, I'm hearing everything you're saying, and you're swaying me hard towards the Elm Street. But I do love that classic just boldness of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's so that poster is telling you, guess what? Better put your seatbelt on for this movie.
And imagine seeing that in the 70s. Just walking by and seeing that chainsaw poster. Even though I picked Nightmare, but just thinking about that. So,
yeah. Tommy, you've spoken eloquently. And you've presented your case well on Elm Street. And you're swaying me to pick Elm Street. So I'm picking A Nightmare on Elm Street as the better poster between the first two original classics. Although, Tommy, not that this is about the movies, but I think you agree, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is one of the greatest horror films, in my opinion, the greatest horror film ever made.
Yeah,
but this is the poster edition. So... Nick, you want to round us out on here? Or are you going to be a little bit on the opposition? I don't know where you're going.
Well, I thought Christian was going the other way for sure. And to one of the points that Tommy made about the Nightmare posters, just there's so many good Nightmare posters. I mean, especially the first 6 posters, they're awesome. Is all the more reason why I'm going Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And there's a reason for that. I have always felt like A Nightmare on Elm Street's poster in the top half of it is a little busy. It's a little busy. It can be a little distracting. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre poster, simply for the simplicity of it and that tagline. That tagline is as macabre as it gets. It's not just about who will survive, what will be left of them. And then you see a
Right.
dude with a chainsaw, and there's in the title, it's Massacre. So immediately you think this is going to be messed up. So they're both great posters. I mean, they really are. I guess I just prefer the simplicity of this one and the message it sends. So TCM.
Wow, damn it, Nick. I respect it. Obviously this is an opinion-based episode, like every episode, quite frankly. But there is truly no wrong answer here. One cool
Right.
thing I can say about the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre poster, I have a mini right there. And I'll say this, Tommy, I don't know if you've seen pictures of the horror room lately. I'm sure you have. I have a shrine of Elm Street over here, and I have
Right.
the first 6 posters, 27 by 40, blown up on the wall. And that original Elm Street poster right there is beautiful. I mean, it is one of the most gorgeous images ever. But the cool thing about the Texas poster, Nick, can you imagine if you could see an original of one of those posters today? That white has probably faded into like that Super Nintendo creamy color when they, those that really cool like fading of a poster like that. I bet you an original, if you could see one today, probably looks beautiful.
Oh yeah, yeah. It would work well with the theme too. An aged poster for that would just look so cool. So yeah, man, I thought it was gonna be 2-1. But it is 2-1 in the opposite direction. So
Yeah. And talking
All
about
right.
it, I'm kind of like, because some of the things you said, I was like, that is true, but I'll stick with
yeah,
Nightmare.
hey, go with your gut, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always think about this, Tommy. Answer your question this way. This is the way I do it, which is really not fair with this episode, but I'm being as subjective as I possibly can. When you look at these posters, say to yourself, which one would I want to put on my wall right now between these two? Let that be the deciding factor for your answer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would have been tough on that one because I want them both. So I don't know. I don't know if there's one. I don't know. That's a tough one for that one.
Yeah. Well, Nick, Nick, I'm going to let you make the deciding factor for this. It may matter to you. It may not matter. So for Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, and then we'll go to Tommy and let him pick first. I'll let you pick last on every one of these, Nick.
Okay.
So for Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, the image you're seeing right now is the infamous Breakfast Club poster, which is the design that Toby swapped to during its promotional run because he thought it would be more beneficial for promotion. This right here is the actual original poster. I mean, Nick, what do you think we should go with? Because they're both official, but one
Breakfast
was
Club.
You want to go with the Breakfast Club?
Okay. I think that's the image most people think of.
I would totally agree with that, but I wanted you to be able to make that decision. So in case people get pissed off, they'll be mad at you and not me.
Hell yeah.
Tommy, get a good look at this. I'm sure you're very familiar with the infamous, after a decade of silence, the buzz is back, Breakfast Club. Tommy, when's the first time you see this poster? Is it the VHS back in the day on the shelf?
Yeah.
What do you take away from an image like this?
To be honest, like I was real young and I don't even know if I'd seen the first one yet, but you see it and you think it's kind of goofy, not in a great way. As much as I love the poster now, back then, it.
Oh shit, we lost Tommy.
Rip.
Nick?
Yeah,
we'll move on to you. We'll move on to you and see if Tommy hops back on.
Okay.
Let's look at now that we're very familiar with this poster. So let's look at A Nightmare on Elm Street. Part 2. Original theatrical poster. God damn, look at that thing. Nick, I've never heard you comment on this poster much before.
That's funny. Because this is one of my favorite Nightmare posters. I love this poster. Even just the minute details that are in the background. I think that actually might be one of my favorite parts of this poster. Do you want me to pick right now?
Yeah. You pick. I'm
okay.
I'm close to a decision.
It's Nightmare 2. It's Nightmare 2. I don't even think Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2's poster is completely relevant for what the movie is, and it works, and it's not a bad poster at all. But I think this poster leaves you with something that poster doesn't. This poster is like, uh-oh. Like, I mean, just the tagline, the man
The
of
man of your dreams
your
is
dreams is
back.
back. Like, yeah, like, oh shit. Yeah, it's Nightmare 2 for me.
Mm. Yeah, I love this poster a lot. I feel like this poster is pretty damn creepy, and it's pretty close to what the actual tone of the movie is. And one of the things I always love, we got Tommy back.
Yeah.
One of the things
I
I
don't
love, Tommy, it's all good. We're commenting on part 2's poster. One of the
Okay.
things I loved about this poster was the inclusion of the maniacal bird, because in the film, as we know, the bird goes haywire in the living room, and the lightning and the tagline, "The man of your dreams is back." And there's something just very provocative about the poster that I love, and that's what the film truly is in its deepest core. So I love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 poster. I love this poster. Before I give my answer, let's go back to Tommy McDaniel. Tommy,
Okay.
you were talking about the Texas 2 poster. You're looking at the Elm Street Part 2 poster. What are your thoughts looking at this right now?
Thinking about it as a kid, seeing it's super creepy. Even if you don't know anything about Nightmare on Elm Street, which besides the claws, it doesn't tell you a whole lot, and that's what I kind of like about these posters. Especially the first two. But it's insane. I mean, like you said, the bird, and I mean, I love it. That it would be my pick. I mean, I love the Breakfast Club. I don't know, but I have to go with Nightmare 2, I think, overall as the poster.
Oh yeah, good choice.
Is it a clean sweep, Christian?
Well, I hate to be the voice of contention, and I'm not going to be, because I am also picking the best. And Tommy, I have no problem saying this. In my opinion, the best goddamn Elm Street film in the series, A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. Am I out of line for saying that, Tommy? I think Part 2 is the best one.
I wouldn't agree, but I mean, some people think that, and you're one of them.
Do you think the first one's you think the first one's probably the best, right? Or the third one? Or?
No, probably the third one for me. I know that's kind of everybody's, first or third, but I like 4 and 5. Which they can be kind of corny at times, but in a great way, and I love those two. But I love them all. I love 2. It's just not my favorite.
So which one was your favorite? I'm sorry, I think we lost you for just a second.
Oh, he said 3.
Yeah, 3.
3. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's my second favorite. I'm a Part 2 guy. I think Freddy was never scarier, Tommy. I thought he was
no
terrifying.
doubt. As far as like as scary as he was, yeah, absolutely 2. No doubt. I totally agree with that.
All right, so we got a clean sweep, Nick.
Clean sweep
for Elm Street Part 2. Moving on.
This one's pretty easy. If I'm being totally honest, this next one's pretty easy.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you.
Yeah, Christian's going to try to be the voice of dissent for like 2 minutes before he just ends up agreeing anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, guys. Right here we have 1990. Excuse me. I don't know what I was about to say. Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 original theatrical poster. The terror begins the second it starts. I mean, look at that thing. Tommy, what do you think about that?
The Saw. If there's anything that makes it a great poster, it's the Saw. I will definitely say that. And that's about all I will say.
That's all you'll say.
The red lighting in the back is cool. I like the red hues there.
I agree.
But yeah, I agree. That's pretty much all I take away from that poster.
All right, well, let's move on.
Yeah, Dream Warriors.
The Dream Warriors poster. Tommy, what do we think about that?
It's one of the greatest. If you talk about some of the greatest horror movie posters, I think it's on the list. Um, it's amazing. It tells you about the movie, but it doesn't spoil it or anything. I mean, it's an amazing poster.
Mm-hmm. And it looks great blown up, man. It's right over there on the wall. If you think you're ready for Freddy, think again. Tommy, you know these shirts are at Walmart right now too. They got
Really?
Dream Warrior shirts. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I'll get you one. They may not be in our local store. Not that I
You
want to say where
know,
we live on the internet, but I'll
Yeah.
get you one. I'll get you one. You gotta
I
have
don't.
that Dream Warrior shirt.
Yeah, well, Christian didn't get me the Halloween one, so
I'll get you a Halloween one. I saw some today.
I saw one the other day actually when I was at Walmart. I'm gonna pick it up.
Purple.
I just wanted to give you shit. Yeah, the purple one.
You know what?
Quick story. He buys two. He sends me a message of how he bought two. I said, "Oh, am I like picking up what you're putting down?" He's like, "Yeah, for sure." I was like, "Okay, cool." He's gonna send me one, and I was like, "All right, cool. Do you want me to just like send you the money?" He was like, "Oh no, the other one's for Sydney." I'm like, what? What? I thought you were leaning another way with that. I had no idea.
Those purple Halloween shirts are amazing. I have a bunch of them. I get big ones for sleep tees and stuff like that. It's a very comfortable shirt. I love, and it's purple. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, purple.
Guys, can I go first on this?
Go do it.
Sure.
I hear you guys. I totally respect that y'all think that the Dream Warriors poster is amazing. I wouldn't even begin to deny it. Leatherface is my absolute favorite Texas Chainsaw poster in the franchise. That is the most heavy metal looking poster I have ever seen. I've got a big one right up there, and whenever I turn the lights off and hit it with some side lighting, it's the scariest goddamn looking poster I've ever seen. I'm going with Leatherface on this one. I think it's one of the coolest, most heavy metal posters ever made. It's a hard pick. I love the Dream Warriors poster. It's not my favorite in the series, but great poster. But I don't know, guys. I think some of the chat might agree with me on this when they see this, but I think that the Leatherface poster is fucking awesome. I don't know. You guys are throwing me off with this one.
No, I think it's more just in comparison for me. It's not a bad poster, but I just think Dream Warriors poster kicks freaking ass. So I'm going Dream Warriors.
Yeah, same here. Dream Warriors. Yeah.
It's great. Don't get me wrong. I love it, man. I really love the Dream Warriors poster.
Don't you try to backtrack now, Christian. You already made your bed.
My bed's made, and I'm proud to pick dude Leatherface's poster. I'm telling you, I have it blown up, and it is so heavy metal. It is the movies, of course. The Dream Warriors. It's juggernaut, one of the greatest from the decade. Damn it, I love that Leatherface poster. Something fierce, man. I just love it. It's so heavy metal to me. So. Yeah, it's an easy pick for me. I'm going Leatherface. So I think that's my first. Yeah, I think that's my first TCM pick. Tommy's got the train. That old train, man. I miss hearing that train.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, it's spooky. That's adding some mood.
All right, we're moving on.
Here we go.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The next generation original theatrical poster. Tommy, what are we about to see right now? Holy crap, look at that, Tommy.
Yeah.
How familiar are you with this film, Tommy?
I'm pretty familiar. I've seen it a handful of times. I rented it at our local video store, and I think the video had the poster with or the cover with like the chainsaw as the lipstick.
Right.
I think
much better poster. Much better poster.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah,
that one right there, Tommy.
Right. Yeah.
Well, this right here is categorized as the original theatrical poster that we're looking at.
Right. And it
no comment, Tommy. You're just kind of soaking it in right now, thinking about it.
It's not bad. I think it perfectly fits the movie. No doubt about that.
All right, Tommy.
Definitely does.
Sit on that for a second. How about this, man? How about this? A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. The Dream Master. Terror beyond your wildest dreams. Look at that thing. I mean, does it get much better than that?
Yeah, it does.
What do you think, Tommy?
I mean, all of these are great posters. I don't like this one as much as three or some of the others, but it's still just the fact that they went with all of these posters, something so kind of almost abstract. You know what I
Right.
mean? Uh,
Right.
is really cool, and I think that's why I love all of them. But as far as my favorite, it's obviously going to be this one because I mean, come on,
It's more going on for you in this one, right?
yeah,
I would have to agree. The only thing about this poster I'm not a big fan of is the eyes. I think that's supposed to be Alice's eyes.
oh
Get get rid of those. And I really like this poster. Again, it looks really cool blown up. I've got it on the wall and it's really cool looking. I like how they've got all the information down there between the cuts in the ground from the blades and everything. And it's not the best in the series, but I do love the look of Freddy up there. They always love doing this thing on the posters where the artist gave Freddy like one big cybernetic looking creepy eye. On all the
right,
posters,
yeah,
they do something interesting. You know, in part 3, his right eye is really big. In part 2, one of the eyes is big on the reflection of Jesse. Part 1, not so much. The left eye is bigger and more distressed, but you would start to see that would become a thing with all these posters. And the artist's name slips me, but I see that it looks like his first name is Matthew. I see his signature on the poster for part 2. Lovely artist. This is a good one to me. I'm a fan of the part 4 poster. Big fan of the film now. It's one of my favorites in the series. But yeah, I'm gonna go with part 4 on this one. Nick, what about you?
Um, the Dream Master isn't one of my favorite posters in this franchise. It's not bad. There definitely is more going on in it than in the Next Generations poster. I'm gonna go with the Dream Master, but I will say that if the original was the lipstick chainsaw, I would have picked that. Um, Not a big fan of this movie at all, but for what the movie is, that says a lot. And
right.
I really like the symbolism in that. So if it would have been that, I would have gone TCM, but that's not the original. So got to play by the rules. And so I'm going to go Dream Master.
You know, I'd probably agree with you on that too. I really like the lipstick poster.
Yeah,
It's
it's
less.
just,
It's
it's
way
so,
more subtle and
yeah.
just the other one. It's literally just Leatherface and drag on the cover. But this one's like this one's. Ooh, this seems a little different. What is this about? You know, the lipstick
Right.
chainsaw. Really cool touch. Really cool touch.
So
So
that VHS copy that you have, Christian, where did you get that from?
the rental store 30 miles from us and bigger,
Gotcha.
talking about.
Hmm.
I'm trying to avoid there's creeps out there, but I bought it from there. And the cool thing is one side of it is the poster and the other side is the lipstick.
Gotcha.
And
I was
this
curious if you had gotten it from the rental store in town that closed down.
no, I hadn't.
Gotcha.
But yeah. Cool movie. I'm a big fan of the next gen. McConaughey is the man in it. But all right, this is where it's going to get a little bit interesting. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 2003, correct, Nicholas?
Yes, sir.
Original theatrical poster. Let's see what we're working with, Tommy, because I don't really know what the hell we're looking at here. Let's see. Let's get a good image of this. All right, there it is.
Yep.
Kind of a dark, dim poster.
Mhm.
What are we looking at here, Tommy?
We're looking at the early 2000s horror movie posters. I mean, definitely you're not looking at the same kind of thing that you get from 80s horror movie posters, or even some of the 90s. It's more subdued in a lot of ways. You don't see the kind of hand painted stuff, but it's more, I think, trying to more mystery, I guess. But I mean, it's a cool poster for what it is, and for what they were trying to do. The kind of different, Leatherface that's not as goofy, I guess, as some
Yeah.
as the last couple of movies, which was good. Some people liked it, some people didn't. But as far as the poster, I do like it. I like it a lot. But
Okay.
what it's going up against, you're going up against something from the from a different time.
Yeah, say what you will about the Dream Child, this poster though, whew,
Right.
it's very, very unique.
Yeah.
Nick, it's funny. I think I used to say that I wasn't a big fan of this one, and then because I have Tommy, you're probably familiar. You've seen it. You've been in here. You've seen my
Right.
video store, Part 5. It's a beautiful big blue poster with Freddy over the cradle, with his hand over his mouth, making the shh face, and I love that. That's my favorite poster. But I also have this poster as well, and I hung it up in the horror room too. Nick, I think this is probably a better poster than 4.
1000%, in my opinion. It's a
Well,
lot more.
tell me about it,
Yeah.
Nick. What are
It's a
you
lot
liking
more
about this?
focused. It's just not as busy. Like, if you look at the poster, it's very straightforward. You have Freddy's face, you have the glove holding the cradle. Like, it's very straightforward. It tells you it gives you a nice tease for what the movie's about. It doesn't seem too busy or like there's too much going on in it. And it's the undertones of the colors that I love, especially in the top half of the poster with the reds and the blues and the like kind of like almost violet dark tones. Like, I love the mixture of colors in the top half of that poster. So I just think it's a lot more concentrated. It's a lot more it's very vibrant. It's very vibrant. Everything stands out. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's probably no surprise with what I'm talking about that I'm going to pick this poster. Absolutely. Like Tommy said, Texas Chainsaw Massacre's poster is not a bad poster, but it's dated. It's dated because that's what all of those posters looked like in the late 90s, early 2000s. We were talking about this with Halloween. Put the face of the protagonist or the antagonist on the poster, put the title and a little tagline. And it's just like, cool, but I mean, look at this shit. Look at the
Right.
originality in this damn poster. Look at the color
Yeah.
in this poster. Like, yeah, I'm going Dream Child.
Yeah, it looks good, man. I'm looking at my actual one right there, and I tell you, man, what I think is cool, Nick, Nick or Tommy, both of y'all comment on this if you will. The name of the movie is The Dream Child. Do you think that it was somewhat of a symbolic thing to make the background space and the clouds because of like it's supposed to symbolize a dreamlike atmosphere, that kind of thing? Do you think that's what the artist was going for?
I
I'm
think
sure,
so.
probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's definitely symbolism in that.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, because
Yeah,
what do people say all the time? Like your head's in the clouds. Like, when
Right.
people are when you're dreamy or you're tired or yeah. I definitely think there's symbolism there.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, this poster's really grown on me. Again, I still fucking love the VHS store movie rental poster. It's so awesome. And Freddy's sweater isn't even red and green. It's like red and yellow because of the weird lighting that hits him whenever he did this photo shoot. And the cradle is massive on the poster. But this one, Nick, is this top 3 Elm Street posters to you? You want to think about it?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah. I don't
Wow.
have yeah. Yeah, it is.
So Tommy, safe to say you're going Elm Street on this.
Right. Yeah. No doubt. Absolutely.
I was gonna make a joke. You guys know I'm bullshitting. It's a clean sweep for the Dream Child here. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
beautifully clean sweep for the Dream Child,
This one's for you, Amanda.
which
We
is
did this for
awesome.
you.
This is great for me. I love seeing Elm Street come out ahead. Let's see right here. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
This one's going to be
Tommy,
interesting, Christian.
Tommy, this is just for the record, Tommy, this is my 3rd favorite in the series right here. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning. I'm a big fan of the beginning. Original.
I am too.
Theatrical poster.
I think I like it better than the first remake.
Me
But,
too.
yeah.
Look at that.
Now,
Look
Tommy,
at that fucking thing.
I mean, Nick, listen to me, Nick. I mean, step improvement from the previous entries poster, right?
Yeah.
Are you not a fan of this one? Are you talking to me, Nick? think I lost you, buddy. So Tommy, we'll let Nick get situated.
All right.
You like this poster?
You got me.
Yeah,
Oh
I got
yeah,
you.
yeah.
I got you.
Definitely
You
much better than the last.
just
Just
the
the silhouette of walk. I mean, all of it. It's an awesome poster.
I love the tones and the colors. These kind of like
It's
Yeah,
muted
it's
browns
so
and
dark.
greens.
It's so dark. This poster just lets you know what kind of movie you're in for. I remember when this poster dropped on Yahoo Movies because I was like
Yeah,
waiting for this poster and waiting for this movie, and I saw this and I was like, "Oh my god, that is beautiful!" Like I love that poster. I love it.
it's fantastic. I'm a big fan of it.
I actually think this is my number 3
yeah.
in the series too.
Yeah, it's a good one, man.
Wow.
I
Yeah,
love
it's
this.
overlooked. People, the movie too. People kind of they don't talk about it as much. Whether they love the original remake or not. It's just I don't know. People don't talk about this movie as much, but
Yeah,
I don't know. I
it seems like, in my opinion, from what I see, it's either the original, part two, or the remake. Those are the three you'll see mentioned 9 out of 10 times.
And the
And
funny thing is,
Right.
I went and looked up reviews of this movie once because I wanted to see what the like why was there this deep like chasm of like people not liking this movie. And most of the negative reviews simply revolved around, oh, it's so gory, it's so heartless, it's so mean, it's so dirty, it's so grimy. Yeah, yeah, that's
you
what I
mean like the
wanted.
first movie?
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. I didn't want polished. I didn't want Platinum Dunes shoving their Platinum Dunes format down my throat. This is a Platinum Dunes movie that doesn't feel like a Platinum Dunes horror movie. Like
Yeah.
I
Right.
love this movie.
Probably their best effort,
Yeah.
possibly. I know this could be the first remake. Tom, it's one of those things. I think a lot of people, when they look into the series and the title may throw them off the beginning, they may not want to see what they think the movie is, especially after seeing that movie
Yeah.
come out a few years ago, the prequel Leatherface.
Right.
People didn't care for
I
that
think
movie.
yeah, people have that reaction. People have that reaction with a lot of like perceived origin stories, especially when it comes to horror, because there's so many bad ones. So
Right.
maybe they saw that and were kind of turned off.
Okay, so there's a lot of positive reaction right now to the beginning poster, but let's head over to Elm Street and see what they have going on. Freddy's Dead original theatrical poster. I don't know, Tommy. Look at this thing. Here's Freddy's Dead.
It's yeah, and I mean it's a good poster, but I kind of feel like it's a letdown from the previous Nightmare on Elm Street posters, just to be totally honest. And if I'm picking, I would have to go with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Mm. It's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a tough one, but like I said, I don't know. It's so different from the other Nightmare, posters, and I just remember at the time it just not being as wowed by it. But yeah,
I really love I really love this poster. I really love the Texas poster. Um, I don't know, man. This is really tough. Gun to my head. I think I got to stick right here. I really love those watercolor reds and the 3D effect of Freddy and the bust down there. I'm a sucker for it. What can I say? I mean, granted, I do have
yeah,
this on my wall. I have an original. It's beautiful. That other poster's great, man. Let me tell you, it's a great poster. But this one reels me in. I'm a sucker for it. I just love the gimmicky 3D style poster. Freddy's Dead. I got to stick with this one. I got to stick with Freddy on Freddy's Dead for this. Nick, I don't know. You're going to have to break this tie.
And break this tie I will. Unless I say I'm picking neither, but I'm not doing that. Look, this is the last arguably great Nightmare poster, in my opinion. I do, and I wouldn't even say this is one of my favorites, but I do think it's very effective. but I'm going the beginning because for me, with the Freddy's Dead poster, as cool as it is, I just feel like the beginning it just is absolutely emblematic of what you're about to see. It gives you that foreboding, dark feeling. It's oh my God, I love that freaking poster, man.
It's a good one. It's good.
Yeah, I'm going the beginning.
Mm.
But I do like Freddy's Dead's poster. I will say that.
To comment on what Tommy's saying, the thing about it too, you're right. It is different from the series, and I think that was probably done purposefully because this was supposed to represent. This is the end. This is going to be a different thing.
Right.
I hear the comments. I just something about this weird blood watercolor sky, and it's like Freddy's popping through this dimension, and I don't know. I'm a sucker, man. I like the look of Freddy
I
on the
get it.
poster. It's a good one, and I never really noticed until I actually got the theater poster from a seller that brought me these Elm Street standees I have, was seeing the bus down there and all, and it looks really cool when you can see it well. Obviously, this picture is small, but there are some really cool details down there that when you're able to see it properly, it's like, oh, wow, look at all that down there. That's really cool. So, it's a close one for me, but damn it, I got to stick with my boy. But let's see where we're heading next. Texas, what's on the next docket for Texas? Texas Chainsaw.
3D.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Original theatrical poster. I don't know what to expect here. What is the original theatrical poster?
It's garbage.
Am I looking at it right now?
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
All right, well, Nick's giving his opinion on it.
I never liked the look of Leatherface in this movie. I thought the mask was it looked so fake. Okay, that does not look like a human face. And so what really is there? Well, look at this chainsaw coming out at you in 3D. Okay, but hasn't the franchise already done this before? And Leatherface with the chainsaw being the prominent thing in the poster. And there's no color in the background at all. There's nothing going on. So you just have this kind of crappy look of Leatherface and a chainsaw. I never liked that poster.
It is a little bit muted. I like the look of Leather in that movie, man. I think the movie's silly. I thought he looked a little silly. His face did look like...
I have a blast with the movie. It's fun. I never liked the poster.
I always thought his mask looked like petrified wood in the movie. You know? Like it had like this almost like fossilized hard wood look.
I guess the reason I have a problem with that and rewatching it the other night is he literally cuts the cop's face off and immediately puts it on.
Looks like it looks like it's 300 years old.
I'm like, come on, like
you're right on that one. I still like the way it looks, but this poster, I mean, hell, you got to shine a light on it, Tommy, just to see what the hell's going on.
Right. It's just black. It's like so many other posters, of the time. Even if this was shot about 60 miles down the road, but still, just boring.
Welcome to Texas.
Well, Tommy, I don't think that I think this is going to be picking the lesser of two evils, quite frankly. Let's look at New Nightmare's original theatrical poster.
Yes, it will be.
Let's have a look here. Let's see what we got going on.
Actually, I don't know, Christian. I don't think this is a bad poster.
This is the confusion I'm getting. Is this the original theatrical poster, or is this?
I've always thought it was that. The first, not that one, the other one.
This one, right?
Yeah.
Tommy, a little too straightforward, maybe?
I don't know if that's what I put it. It is kind of straightforward. It is like another one that it's of the time that, that kind of close to mid. When did this come out? 90.
I think it's
4 or 5, something like that. Yeah, that kind of mid 90s look. But I do like the color.
Some good reds in there, yeah.
Yeah, but it's another one where it's just kind of you know what I mean? It's So yeah, I like it better than the chainsaw poster, but yeah, like you said, it's picking the lesser of two evils, and I think I have to go with this for sure.
Nick, do you have an answer yet? I'm still kind of deciding.
It's New Nightmare, and it's simply just because I love the colors and I actually like the way Freddy looks. I think as the demon, I've always thought that was a pretty good look for what they were
Mm,
going for. If you were going for that look as just the burn victim Freddy, I don't know. I feel like that might be a little over the top, but in this movie, he's a demon in its purest form, essentially. So I always liked that look.
Yeah.
So I go with New Nightmare here.
Yeah, we're looks like we're sweeping again. I mean, I don't know. I just feel that Texas Chainsaw, if we can get another look at it, I feel it's just kind of it's too dark,
Yep.
you know?
And let us never forget. I'm still shocked to this day. That movie opened with $21 million in the U.S. on its opening weekend and was number one. After that, it fell off the hardest cliff I've ever seen. I mean, I remember the headlines when that movie came out. Texas Chainsaw is number one at the box office. People were like, holy crap, like this movie went number one, and it just tanked after that. And, you know, I don't know why. I just always think about that when I think about this movie because
I think we lost you, Nick. But I tell you what, I was there opening weekend, so I was there. I can't hear you, Nick. So Tommy, it looks
yes.
like it's a clean sweep. You know, we're
Yeah.
plugged my mic. Sorry, guys, by accident when I was throwing my hand around. And
yeah. So Nick, you were saying though it had
it
how many
just
millions?
it
How many
was
millions
21.
did we fall off second
It
week?
was 21 million opening weekend. And I think it finished its U.S. run with 35.
Oh wow.
Wow.
So the
It
fans
just
went to go see the movie and then nobody else, basically.
yep.
Hey, I was there opening weekend, Nick.
So was I, man. And my theater was like packed. I was like, wow, this is cool, man. Like, hey, everybody's out here to see Leatherface, and then it just
No, Nick, I got to take you to task for just a second.
oh
You
Christ.
you said that you thought that we're pretty much done with the good Elm Street posters, and I wouldn't necessarily agree with that. I think
No,
there's
I
one that's
just
pretty good.
there's a
We're
reason
gonna
for
get
that.
to.
Yeah, I forgot we were including a certain movie.
I'm not referring to that, but we'll get there. Let's
Oh,
move on.
What I meant was
I know what you
the
meant.
consensus. Good. That
Well,
doesn't mean I don't like a certain poster. I just meant the consensus. I can't wait to defend something
all right. Well,
again that so many people hate to hear me defend.
Leatherface 2017. I guess we can have to just look up whatever the DVD art is because this movie did not really go
it-
theatrically.
No, and it sucks.
See what comes up.
This poster sucks, Christian.
I don't know, Tommy. What are we looking at here, man? That's
Dog
what
shit.
they gave us. Does that
Yeah.
excite you, Tommy? What do you think?
Absolutely not. It's like I don't know.
It looks like a movie you'd
Like,
see at Dollar General for $1.
right? Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. And consider after seeing it, it probably you'd be paying too
Should
much
have
for a
been,
dime.
yeah, not a
Hey,
dollar.
now, Tommy, I know we're supposed to just be commenting on posters, but
Right.
because you're here and I haven't been able to talk to you too much, I mean, what happened with Leatherface? What do you think went wrong with that movie?
I don't know. I don't know if they wanted to do something super cool and different, and I don't know. I don't know. Somebody should have told them to stop. And but yeah, I don't know. It was just bad.
Nick, so no compliments on the Leatherface poster.
Get that shit off my screen.
All right, you heard him. Let's move on.
This is going to be another clean sweep.
All right, Tommy, Freddy vs. Jason, original theatrical poster.
Right.
Let's see what we're working with. Now, I was telling Nick this last time, Tommy. I think people, when they think Freddy vs. Jason, they probably think of this image right here,
Mhm.
right? Because that's what everybody saw when they bought the movie. But this is the original poster. It's more of a black with the same kind of style, but this is it right here. What are you thinking?
I love it. I mean, especially when I first saw it, because I mean it's Freddy versus Jason. You know what I mean? Before I saw the movie, it's like this is what people have been waiting for forever, and yeah, it's not, there's nothing flashy about it, but it's Freddy and Jason together, on a poster, and I don't. It's tough to have like a good to say anything about like the aesthetic or any of that stuff, because I'm kind of biased just because from seeing it that first time. You know what I mean? If that makes
Right?
sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it.
You know what I think they did right, Tommy?
What's that?
They didn't put anybody on that poster except those two.
Right. Yeah.
They didn't bog it down with other characters because this was pretty symbolic of the time. The scream the scream wave really lasted a pretty good while, and we're kind of in the post limbo era right here. But poster wise, we were still seeing that kind of stuff,
Right.
and thankfully they didn't do that here. They named the movie Freddy vs. Jason, and they only put those two on there. I got to be
Yeah.
honest, I really
Exactly.
do like that blue tint that you would see on the home video. But as far as the poster goes, I think this one uh, does a pretty good job. It leaves you wanting more. You get to see a little bit of each of them on the poster, and you can tell they're going to fight. So may not be the movie people expected when they watched it based on the poster. At the same time, I guess so in a way. Just depends on how the movie you had in your head. But I mean, Nick, we've already talked about this film a little bit from the previous Friday episode. But you like this poster?
I do. And so obviously I'm picking this over Leatherface. And the only thing I want to say about this movie that I didn't touch on in the last episode, and I should say it, and it's pertinent to the poster. In our lives as horror fans, there are certain events that take the world by storm, and we've experienced a handful of them in our genre. The Conjuring, and how that became like a massive global phenomenon. It and It Chapter 2, those were massive. Halloween 2018, Freddy versus Jason. Movies like that seep into the mainstream, that grab people that don't normally watch movies like this. This movie did that, and the poster was so effective in bringing those people here and making it the event it was. Because yes, they're facing off, but to have that literally be your poster, no one else, not even like credits on there like you get with a typical poster. It is just very focused. Freddy and Jason are gonna fight. Come watch the movie. And although we've talked about it, neither one of us are big fans of the movie all these years later, but that's damn effective. So Freddy vs. Jason.
Clean sweep for Freddy versus Jason. Poor Leatherface, but at the same time, guys, I mean, y'all got to do a little bit better. Before we get to the grand finale, which is going to be Nightmare on Elm Street the remake versus what do we have after that?
The new Texas Chainsaw.
The new Texas Chainsaw. Oh well, never mind. That's what I was gonna say. All right, so Tommy, before we get to there, I mean, Tommy, we got a new Texas Chainsaw movie coming out. What's going through your mind? Are you ready for the new Texas Chainsaw on Netflix?
I mean, I'm always willing. Anytime there's anything new from any of these like major franchises, I'm always going to watch. I mean, I keep an open mind and just see what happens. You never know when something's going to be good and something's going to surprise you, but we'll see what happens.
Now, I don't want to spoil it. If you're going into this movie blind, I'll respect that. But did you watch the trailer for the movie or anything like that?
I haven't yet because I have kind of tried to want to. I saw the poster uh, that they released. Was it last week before? I can't remember, but
Right.
that's really all I've seen.
And that's fine. That's why I asked, because I didn't want to I didn't want to ask you your thoughts on what we saw in the trailer if you didn't see it, and that's perfectly fine. I know me and Nick have watched the trailer probably a couple times. We've discussed it at length. But today, we're going to be looking at some posters. And this is actually going to be an interesting one. So let's get going. Let's go to Freddy first. Nightmare on Elm Street, 2010. Original theatrical poster. And Tommy, this is what we're working with right here. Tommy, if you don't mind me saying, I don't think this poster's half bad. I kind of like it.
No, I agree. The only thing is the face. You know, when you see that and it's not the Freddy you know, but that has nothing to do with the poster and the design of the poster. That's just, you know, the actor. But it's not a bad poster. It's not at all.
I remember seeing this in the movie theater, and I believe it might have been around the time I watched Friday the 13th or something, and I saw Coming Soon in the hall or something. It may not have been Friday. I just remember seeing the Coming Soon wall in the theater and seeing that, and I was like, oh, wow, that's creepy. I love the angle of Freddy. You get this really cool, and my friend Devin, who was a photographer, used to show me these tricks of shining light behind what you're shooting to give it this more hyper focus on what you're supposed to be looking at in the picture. And we could see that's going on here. There's a bright light behind Freddy. I don't know, Nick. I think this is a pretty damn good poster. I mean, what do you think?
It is. Just like I think it is a pretty not that bad movie, but that's a conversation for another day. No. When I said that they would be the end of like the good Elm Street posters, I just meant in the consensus of everybody else because I definitely didn't expect to. Have other people agree about this poster. I thought I was going to be on an island. I really like this poster. I actually have it. I just don't have it framed, but I do have it rolled up in my closet because I used to have it on my wall years and years ago. I've always liked the poster. Always liked it.
Yeah, I think it's a modern poster done well. They got the tone set properly. They got a good shot of Freddy, but it's still a mystery. Who is this Freddy? You know, you kind of get this little smirk, but you don't know you can't see his face. You see the glove and the claw. I mean, I thought they did a pretty damn good job here. So, I mean, what can I say? Anyway, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Tommy, they finally just called the movie Texas Chainsaw Massacre again. No weird titles.
Seems to be, I think after the new Halloween, I think that's kind of the trend now, I guess.
All right, Tommy, this is what we're working with. I don't know. I don't think this is half bad either. If you guys don't mind me commenting, I think that this poster does a pretty good job of doing a modern poster, but you know, potentially matching some kind of you know, tone of the film. I mean, based on the trailer I saw and what I'm seeing here, I think this is actually a pretty clever poster with the way that the light from the sun is supposed to block Leatherface a little bit. You still see him, but this Leatherface, Tommy, this Leatherface is hiding, and this is a Leatherface that may be popping out at you in this film. And I don't know. I think they did a pretty good job here. I mean, it's certainly a step up from Leatherface, the previous poster, right?
Yeah, and like you said, Leatherface kind of, if you just glance at the poster, you almost don't see him at all. You know, and I think that's really cool the way he kind of blends in. I'm interested to see. I've seen a couple screenshots. I've seen, you know, the thing that was going around Twitter where they talked about kind of comparing the color tones to like what they did with Halloween. So I'm interested to see the movie, but I mean, this poster definitely, you know, it piques my interest and
it hypes you up a little bit.
Right, yeah.
I mean, Nick, where are you sitting at with this poster? You probably think this one's a little bit better than Leatherface, huh?
It's better than Leatherface, but I don't know what it is. I mean, I feel like the sun kind of blurring him out a little bit is creepy. And the reason I keep turning to my left is because I have my laptop screen up and I can see these posters better when you pull them up. So
right.
don't worry, I'm paying attention.
I figured that's what you're doing.
I'm, you know, as I look at it, I'm like, you know, the sun blurring him out kind of that's cool. But two things. I I like the shot in the trailer of him in the sunflower field. I think that's really cool. But highlighting it in the poster, I just feel like that's kind of weird in Texas. Like, I don't know, like to be the poster, like, oh, he's frolicking through the sunflowers. Like, whatever, not a big deal, but it's just kind of weird. But I'll just go ahead and say I'm going Nightmare, and solely because I think that Nightmare poster is more cinematic,
Mhm.
and I think it is creepy. I just think it is creepy. Leatherface does look good here for sure, but you look at this poster and you look at Nightmare side by side. I in my opinion, only one of those posters gives you a little bit of feeling under your skin, like, ah, oh, this might be creepy. So I'm going Nightmare.
Tommy, where are you sitting on this right now?
Yeah, looking at this, and I do like this poster, but at the same time, parts of it do almost look like they took a frame from the movie and then threw the title on it. So it's
Yeah.
almost not. But I like the shot. I do a lot. Like I said, I love the way the sun, kind of obscures Leatherface's face. But I have to agree. Nightmare would probably be my pick, just because it looks more like a movie poster. So
Yeah,
yeah, I
you
think
can
I'm gonna have to
tell
go
it's
with
from a
Nightmare.
photo shoot. Yeah, like you just made a
Right?
good
Yeah,
point that I
yeah,
couldn't really put my finger on. This does look like a frame from the movie, whereas that one looks like a damn. They made that was a photo shoot for that poster, and that's why it looks so cinematic and like
right.
grabs you.
Hmm. All right, so we got two for Elm Street. Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. Although I really want to give credit to this poster. I'm a big fan of it. I think it's really clever to have that sun block out leather a little bit. And to me, when I look at this poster, if I saw nothing, if I didn't see a trailer, and I looked at this poster, at first glance, I remember when I first saw the poster, I was like, "What is so special?" Oh, there he is! And I thought, okay, this is the Leatherface that's going to be sneaky. This one's going to be popping out at people in the movie, and I that's very symbolic to me. So I think for this type of poster, for lack of a better term, because I don't know this will. I mean, I'm sure fans may get this thing printed up because they may want to have it on their wall or something. But obviously, it's a Netflix movie, so this isn't going to be in theaters. This poster, but for what it is, I think it's pretty damn good, especially for like the photograph or a screenshot from the film. I think it's pretty. I hope this is a screenshot from the film. Quite frankly. But yeah, the Elm Street 2010 poster, I'm a big fan of that. I thought they did a really, really good job.
Hmm.
It's tough. If I had to, ranking the remake posters between, Halloween, Friday, and Elm Street, that would be pretty hard because despite my thoughts on some of the films, etc., I think all those remake posters for those guys were pretty good, especially the Friday poster. I love that Friday poster, but I think the Elm Street one is damn good. So I'm going with Elm Street 2010. That's a damn good poster.
Hmm.
Clean sweep to finish her off.
Yeah. So Tommy, I don't think I picked that many Texas Chainsaws, quite frankly. I think I picked Leatherface. I think I picked Leatherface. I don't think I think that's the only Texas Chainsaw I picked.
Yeah, I picked the same. I think I picked the beginning, and that might be it actually.
I think so. And I know Nick picked the original
And the beginning.
in the beginning. So needless to say, we probably all feel that the Elm Street series for more times than not, got it right with their posters.
Just like I think the series itself, movie wise, is probably better overall. Nightmare, in my
Than the
opinion.
Texas franchise. Is that
Yeah,
what you're
for
Right.
saying?
sure.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, I feel like I should comment, but because I don't think anybody would take me seriously. But I do agree. I think pound for pound, um, I besides Texas Chainsaw, I would probably have to throw Freddy's Revenge up against any of those entries in the Texas
Hmm.
Chainsaw series after that, and probably come out picking Freddy's Revenge over all of them. So, I mean, just from that standpoint. for me. I mean, I got to go at Elm Street. Dream Warriors and Dream Master. I mean, what a special effects extravaganza. I mean,
You're right.
I don't need to talk about how much I love this franchise. I do it all the time. But what a great time for horror movie posters, man. I mean, the beautiful works of art. I just miss this era so much. This is why I love doing these episodes about posters. It's a passion of mine. You know, last week, Tommy, well, before we end the episode too, last week we picked the absolute worst poster of the series of the show from all the ones we've talked about, and what we think the absolute best poster is. So I guess we should go there now while I'm thinking about it. Tommy, you want to take a few minutes and go to you last? I'll let Nick
I'm
go
gonna have to think
first.
about.
Nick, where are you sitting with the absolute worst?
Worst is Leatherface from 2017, hands down. Best, Demon Fred, the man of your dreams, Freddy's Revenge.
Freddy's Revenge, huh? Nice. That's a good pick.
Sir.
I would agree. I think that Leatherface is the worst poster out of all of them. And I'm going to agree with you. I think that Freddy's Revenge is the best poster out of the bunch. There's this weirdness to part 2, man. I'm telling you, when I look at it, it's even when you see them in order with the rest of the movies and you look at part 2, you say to yourself, that one's a little off. There's something about that poster that's like, this movie's different. It doesn't have the same feel that 3 and 4 look like they've got this feel, and part 1 has that classic first movie, but part 2, there's something about that one. I don't trust that movie. So yeah, I got to go with part 2 for Freddy's Revenge. I think they think the artist nailed it for that one. But Leatherface 2017 proudly leaps and bounds is the worst poster
Right. Yeah.
out of all of them. What do you think, Tom? You think you got it figured out?
Yeah, definitely Leatherface for the worst, no doubt about it. And I'm gonna have to go Dream Warriors. It's just, I know it's kind of cliche. It's everybody's pick, but that's mine.
A great image, man. I mean, let's look at it again. I mean, again with those shades of blue too. I mean, I
Right.
think part 5 shades of blue are a little bit more detail, and the artists probably look like they got more experience as time went on. But they did a killer job here, man.
But I will say with 2, it looks like they set the artist down before he, created the cover, gave him some like psychedelic mushrooms and had him watch the movie and then do the painting. Cause I mean, everything makes sense if you've seen the movie The Bird and all of that, but if you see it outside of that, it's like, what
am I looking at here?
Right.
Yeah, there's something weird. It's like
that poster is Viagra. Like, I look at that poster and I'm like, yeah.
Right.
I don't know, man.
And look how good they did the likeness of Kim, the girl in the movie. I mean, that's her in the movie. I mean, let's compare Nancy's for part 1. I mean, that's a decent resemblance of Heather. I mean, it's not exactly spitting image, but I mean, Tommy, that's Kim from the movie.
Yeah.
To a T. Mark Patton, it looks like a more, and obviously now we know that Mark was a gay actor, or is a gay man. He wasn't just a gay actor. They certainly what's the word I'm looking for? Masculinized him a little bit in this poster, I guess is the word. They made him look a little bit more manly, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, yeah.
His hands look that massive his hand looks on
his arms seem like they're super long.
Yeah, but it's shocking how close the artist got Kim on that. I mean, literally 99.9, maybe even 100% her likeness in the face. It's incredible. I mean, some of the closest resemblance I've ever seen in a painting, quite frankly. I don't know. So.
Man, that is, looking at it now, I know I said Dream Wars, but this is an amazing poster.
Look at you got the towel on the bath towel on the rack right there. Shaving cream. What a poster. Tommy, so since we have you here, let's end it with this, a little something fun. So last week we did Halloween versus Friday the 13th. Off memory, can you tell me what you think your favorite Halloween poster would be? Or, I mean, excuse me, between those two franchises, Do you think you could think real quick on what do you think the best poster would be from those two franchises? What do you think the overall best was? For reference, if you want an idea, Nick actually picked the original Halloween as being the greatest poster of all those. And I actually went with
Yeah,
part 2 with the skeleton pumpkin. I'm a big fan of the skeleton pumpkin. But Friday has some great posters too. You talk about Jason Takes Manhattan. What a legendary
mhm,
poster. The New Blood, Jason Lives. I'm sure you're familiar with that beautiful blue with the tombstone.
right.
What do you have a standout from there?
For Friday, I think it is part 6. I think I'm going to go with that.
Jason Lives.
Yeah. Halloween, like the first two, I like both of them, but the first, it's just it's simple, but I don't know,
It gets
it's
it right.
just this simplicity of it and what it means for horror. But yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with that. But I
There
see what
you
you mean
go.
about the second one, as far as the
Skeleton
skull,
pumpkin.
yeah, the skeleton book. Yeah, but I think the first one, I think I'm gonna have to go with that for sure.
There you go. Well, Tommy, what do you think about horror posters? What do you want to tell the people? I mean, how important was the poster to you in your youth and getting into horror? I mean, that had to be a huge part of what made you decide to watch a movie.
Absolutely, and I mean they're works of art, especially back then as a kid growing up in the 80s, in the early 90s. They're works of art that draw you in, and covers aren't quite the same today, but they still do the same thing. They're still going to draw you in. If it's a great cover, you'll watch a movie that is not very good. But if a cover is great, it's going to draw you in. You're going to watch it anyway at times, especially, well, when we were talking about rentals, when you didn't have the ability to watch any trailer you wanted to watch at any time, you go to a rental store and you're walking down that aisle and you see the covers, it's if it's got a great cover, which sometimes is the same as the movie poster, and it draws you in, then that's what you're going to watch.
Mm. And sometimes they'd reel you in with a good cover, and then that movie would.
Exactly. you know, you know where all their budget went for sure.
So, Tommy, would you call that? What do you call it nowadays when people make thumbnails that are ridiculous and the videos are not exactly honest? What's the term that they
Uh,
have for that now?
Clickbait,
Is that
kind of a clickbait,
so? Was that the original clickbait?
right? I think so.
Nick, you've been clickbaited before in the movie theater, huh? Or the movie at the rental store?
Oh yeah. Oh god, yeah. Yeah. Some badass posters and some shit movies. I mean, I trying to think of one off the top of my head, but
But you
I try to
respect the hustle back then because
I
that was the name
do.
of the
I
game,
do.
you know?
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Especially in the market for that time was so oversaturated. There were so
Exactly.
many of these movies. So you really wanted to stand out. So I get it.
I mean,
But yeah.
nowadays I feel like even in the not even necessarily Tommy, just the movie genre business, but even in the poster business, it seems like let's see what worked, let's see what's popular, and do it.
Oh
And
yeah. I
even
mean,
Scream kind of did that for a minute. I mean, there's this image that really that the promo poster for Scream, the new movie, they basically did Halloween or Halloween Kills. They put a close up
mhm,
shot of Ghostface with the blade. And then they switched gears pretty quick. And then when they put out the actual theatrical poster for the movie, they did like the cast on the front of everything. But they even kind of turned that on its head. So, but it seems, Tommy, like whatever's popular nowadays, whatever sets the trend, it gets copied, and that seems to be happening with posters nowadays too. I mean,
yeah.
what
I
happened
mean,
with
yeah.
originality, man? What's going on?
Yeah, I mean the studios, they're trying, and especially now when things are so different, with it's difficult to, especially after COVID and stuff like that. They're going to do everything they can to lure people in, and they're not the people who are making the decisions aren't the artists. They're not they don't have original ideas, so they're just trying to do what's already worked in their minds, so they're just going to go after that.
Yeah, I mean, Nick, do you think that Halloween probably is pretty responsible for what we're going to see going forward with this trend of not only just movies doing this requel thing, but even the posters? For God's sakes, it seems like they're doing the posters that
Yeah.
Halloween's doing.
Yeah. It's what worked. So until it doesn't work anymore, they're going to use him.
Got another train by Tommy again.
I'm sorry. It's like I don't even notice it now until you say something.
You know what? I think people
So
are going to
used to it.
appreciate the train because it's a homey touch to this episode.
Yes.
Right. Something like that.
Yep.
Go with
All
that.
right. Well, this was another fun episode. We had a few bumps in the road, but you know what? I think those usually make those episodes the best. There's a little bit of an authentic feel to them. But me and Nick have been doing this a while now. We're in the 30s on this show, so we figure out how to keep the show flowing when a hiccup happens. And I don't think this episode requires any editing, Tommy. I think we were covered nicely whenever we lost you for a second, or when Nick
Right.
goes on his rants and pulls his damn cable out of his microphone.
Yeah.
So I want to say, Tommy, I mean, it's thrilling. I'm so glad to have you on the show, man. It's been a while. We've been keeping in touch, but I mean, I know the audience misses you. The CHH true fans, they know who you are. And I know that they're probably really, really happy to see you back on the show, man.
I hope so. I mean, I hope to do this a lot more now.
Oh, absolutely. We'd
So-
love to have you back, man.
Yeah, man, it was a pleasure. It was nice meeting you and
Yeah.
talking to you.
Me
and
too, man. Absolutely.
you know, I enjoyed it.
So Nick,
Same.
I don't know where we're going from here, Nick. I think we'll probably put a bow on the poster edition for now.
Yep.
Who knows where we're going next? I know we're working on things. We always have things we're working on, but if they don't happen, they don't happen. But
Yeah, there's a few of those things that are touch and go. You know, Sean, as you guys know, we're trying to get Sean Clark back on. He's got a lot going on right now, so he hasn't really been very active on his own channel, let alone being on the podcast. And I totally understand. So you know, when we can get Sean, we'll get Sean. I've reached out to a couple people in the industry. Still working to get Timo Voronsola. I found out the reason why is he's shooting another movie right now. He's shooting an action movie in Helsinki, and he actually messaged me back the other night and was like, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to leave you hanging. I'm currently shooting a project. Basically, let's put a pin in it. I still want to do it. I just don't have the time right now. So, working some things, but it might be a little bit before we reel in a fish like that. But it'll happen.
was this the Jeepers Creepers director?
Yes.
Yeah,
And then-
Nick was trying, guys. I mean, that would have been really cool, but
Well,
I mean,
he
Nick,
said he still wants to. He's currently shooting a movie right now, so you know it's not practical, and I totally get it.
I mean, we were speculating that maybe the studio were like, "Hey, man, don't be talking about this movie."
He did, and he tweeted last night. He said, "For all the Jeepers fans that keep asking me, we're finishing up VFX on a few last shots. It's almost completely done." So, and then there's rumors that is coming out in April. So, you know, I'm sure once that comes out, he'll be done filming his new project, and then maybe coinciding with the release, we can have him on. You know, I think his schedule would be freed up by then. That'd be cool. So,
You know, Nick, I wanted to say real quick. I meant to say this last week, but it was either Rue Morgue or Horror Hound, one of the two magazines I got last week or so. They actually showed some still images from the movie, and I got to be honest, they looked pretty damn good. I mean, some of those images look promising, and the director said he's going back to the roots of the first movie.
yeah, no, everything I've seen coming out of this movie has actually made me look forward to it. When it was first announced, I was kind of like, oh, this is going to be some low budget piece of shit. And believe it or not, it looks like he's got the aesthetic down really good. So I'm actually mildly optimistic for this movie.
Yeah, I don't think those original images that came out were very flattering, quite frankly.
No. But,
And
you know, fingers crossed. And I've also I reached out to Andy Muschietti, director of It and It Chapter 2, and he got back to. I've actually talked to Andy a couple times. He was the one that told me that they're actively trying to make a prequel to It, but he can't talk about it. Last night he reached back out to me and said that he would be honored, blah blah blah, but it seemed like corporate speak. He was like, you know, that'd be really cool. I'm, you know, very busy right now because they just wrapped filming on The Flash, not long ago. And he's deep in post on The Flash. And then obviously, since that's a comic book movie, he's doing a ton of press junkets and a lot of that shit. So that might be a pipe dream, but at least he took the time to reply to me and say that it is something he'd be open to. So maybe one day.
Well, guys, fingers crossed we'll get that stuff in the works. And I know we want Scout Taylor Compton. That's like our
guys. I want to say, I think this is a perfect way to end this. Scout is very active on Instagram, especially when it comes to her new podcast with Danielle Harris, which is very racy and very not kid friendly. And it's a fun.
I love
listen.
it.
Yeah, it's a fun listen. But if you tag her and stuff, a lot of times she'll notice it and she'll post it to her story. So if you guys want Scout on Uneeda, like Christian and I want Scout on Uneeda, reach out to her on Instagram, tag her, get the word out. Say, hey, because it could help build their podcast too. That's all I'm saying. So, let's keep that train going of get Scout on Uneeda.
Yeah, you heard him, guys. So let's work on that. Team effort.
And don't tell her she's like my number one crush of all time.
Screw Rob. We don't want Rob Zombie or Sherry. We don't want that. We really want Scout more than anything. I mean, I would love to have Scout on here.
I would want to talk to her for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, she's delightful. It'd be the same way with like Danielle Harris. I'd love to have Danielle. I'd love to have some of these are pipe dreams, I know, but like John Carpenter would obviously be incredible. Would never happen. But yes, Scout. When it comes to the Rob Zombie movies, Scout, Danielle Harris, or Tyler Mane, I would love to talk to any one of them. Just fantastic. So yeah, get the word out to Scout. Word out to Scout.
Fingers crossed, guys. The podcast is doing good. It's growing. We are now on Apple Podcasts, by the way. We're on Apple Podcasts, and we are on Spotify. I could put us on Stitcher or these other weird third-party sites, but quite frankly, I don't know what else anybody else would be using besides that. And I think a lot of people use this YouTube for the podcast as well. So we're getting out there. The show's doing good. We're going to get these guests. It's a matter of time. So I look forward to that. Tommy, it's great to have you back, man. It's a pleasure. It's great to see you doing good, man. Just good to have you back.
Same, man. Hopefully I can make it over sometime back to the horror room. And yeah, it's been awesome.
Yeah. Well, man, it's been good. Thank you guys for listening to this episode of the Uneeda Horror Podcast. Excuse the speed bumps along the way, but guess what? There's speed bumps in life. So that's all we're showing you is that life ain't perfect. So we love you. We'll see you guys next time. This has been a production of the Uneeda Horror Podcast. You need it, we got it. Thank you for listening.